All right, I'm just gonna hold this camera because it's not going to sit on the car properly. Good morning, everybody. How are you all going? My name is Sarah, if you don't know, and I'm from Melbourne's Vegan on Instagram. I am just about to go grocery shopping because it's a Sunday, which is my favourite day of the week because I get to go to the South Melbourne market and get a barek and do my grocery shopping, and I do a little bit of meal prep for the week as well, but I don't prep everything. I only prep a few little things because I like to be able to cook during the week because it's my favourite thing to do, and I like to spread out my favourite activity over the week. So I'm going to go to the market, and then I'm going to go to Woolies and get some tofu and some other ingredients, and then I'm going to go to my favourite grocery store in Balaclava. It's an Indian and Pakistani grocer where I buy all my spices in bulk. It's like the cheapest way to buy spices. You can get like, I think I got like a kilo of curry powder for like $11 or $15 or something like that, which is so much cheaper than buying the little plastic bottle things, containers, bottles, tubes, I don't know, you know the little plastic jar things that you get spices from like Coles or Woolies. Buying them in bulk from an Indian grocer is 10 million times cheaper, and they're also made in India, I'm pretty sure, so it's like authentic spices, I don't know. And then I'll come back and do some meal prep, and then I'll also show you how I cook and eat throughout the week. So this is like a meal prep on a Sunday, or grocery shop on a Sunday, and then show you how I eat it throughout the week. So should be good. Let's go to the market and I'll show you my favorite places to go at the market. So there's about 3 or 4 different stores that I go to at the market. First is Rod's Fruits and Vegetables, where I buy all my cheap conventional produce. It's so cheap there. The nuts shop, I get some almonds there sometimes, and other flowers and things. And then the barek store, which is, in my opinion, the best store at the market. I get a barek every single time I'm there. I get a kale and leek one. Oh my god, it is fucking amazing. If you go there, you need to try the kale and leek. It sounds the most boring, but trust me, it's the most delicious. And then the organic produce store, I only usually buy things that are on special here, and there's usually a lot of stuff on special. Because I am not made of money and organic produce is so expensive, but I can usually get so much good stuff that's discounted, that looks a little bit funny, but I can usually get like 70% of my groceries on special there. Anyway, this is the Limra groceries where I buy all my spices. I've been getting a couple of these curry paste kind of things, which have been so handy and so cheap. I stocked up on some ginger, some garlic powder, a few other things. That's the 1 kilo curry powder I was talking about. It's only $12 for a kilo of curry powder. How amazing is that? What's this? Lentils and spices, 2 kilos of red split lentils for $6.60. Fucking bargain, if you ask me. This was everything I got. So I got like rhubarb, eggplant, lots of fruit, tofu, all my spices. I got a buttered chicken paste, olive oil. I got a massive loaf of sourdough bread and celery juice for my celery juicing. And I already had, honestly, so much stuff in my pantry, like chickpeas, lentils, olive oil, rice, just so much staples. And I was soaking some blanched almonds and some chickpeas to make a almond feta out of the almonds, and just have the chickpeas over the week for things that you'd put chickpeas in. I was organising my spices on this Sunday. I got some black salt to try and make like give an eggy flavour to my scrambled tofu and stuff. I pop all my spices that don't fit into my jars in this big container. As you can see, I'm very well stocked. So I didn't need to buy that much this week from that Indian and Pakistani grocer. To prep my celery, I always chop it up and chop off the leaves, and I soak it in a sink with a big dash of vinegar for about 20 minutes just to help get rid of some of the herbicides and pesticides and stuff. And as a little snack while I was prepping my groceries, I made some sourdough toast with Vegemite, sesame seeds and tomatoes. I'm just warning you, I ate so much bread this day, so get ready for more toast because I'm obsessed with toast. And so to accompany that massive loaf of sourdough, I got a pumpkin loaf from Wood Frog's Bakery across the road from the South Melbourne Market. Would highly recommend. But yeah, to accompany my bread, I made a big batch of almond feta this week. The full recipe for this is on my Instagram, so go check that out. This is honestly a godsend. It tastes exactly like feta, although the texture isn't quite as feta-y. So I call it a paste or like a spread. But oh my god, it was so good. So I also had a heap of basil pesto, so I decided to make a vegan feta and pesto toasted sandwich. So I just spread the pesto and the feta on the bread with some tomatoes, and I buttered the outside part of the bread and toasted that in my bread toaster. And just wait till you see how golden and delicious it looks. Look at it sizzling. Oh my god, it was fucking so good. I only had half of this because I actually wasn't really that hungry, but I was really excited to make a toastie because I made that feta. So I gave half of that to Jacob, and then later on for dinner that night, I just love bread so much and I was so lazy. This day I couldn't really be bothered cooking, so I just had Vegemite, feta and tomatoes on toast for dinner. But I promise you there's a lot more interesting recipes coming in the next couple of minutes or seconds, so stay tuned for tomorrow because it's a lot more exciting. Okay, well, welcome to Monday, everyone. Thanks for sticking around for Sunday. I know that one was a bit of a long one because I was prepping all that food, but on Monday I started off doing a big exercise class online. So I had big, like 650 ml glass of water as I did that. That's my dog Dennis. And then I prepped all of my celery. So I always make a 1 litre batch and separate it into 2 500 ml jars. And I have one jar that morning, and then I have the next jar or glass, the bottle, I don't know, the next morning. It only keeps like 24 hours. So that's why I do it like that. And then the key to killing it with juicing is to clean your juices straight away. Otherwise you neglect it and it gets all gross and it can be a real hassle. So just clean your juices straight away. There's no other easy way around it. Just clean it straight away. And then about half an hour later, I decided to have a percolated coffee. Instead of using my espresso machine every now and then, I just like making a classic percolator coffee because I love how strong it makes the coffee. Those chickpeas that I soaked yesterday were ready to be boiled, so I prepared those while my coffee was brewing, and I just had a long black that day because I wasn't feeling like the milkiness of a milk coffee, so I had a long black, and that's just me pouring water into my pot of chickpeas to boil for half an hour. For breakfast, I made the most amazing, fruity, simple smoothie bowl. I chopped up about 3 frozen bananas, which ended up probably being a tiny bit too much. And I chucked them in a blender with 2 medjool dates and a little dash of water. And I blended that into some nice cream. And then with the huge passion fruit that I bought yesterday, I used that as my topping garnish thing for my bowl. Because they were so juicy, I could only put half of the passion fruit on at once, but oh my god, this was so good. My tummy always glows when I have a massive fruity simple breakfast like this. Especially it's nice to have a break from like peanut butter and nuts and things, because that can be a bit hard for your body to break down sometimes, all those fats, especially first thing in the morning. So that smoothie bowl was fucking amazing, and would highly recommend making smoothie bowls for breakfast because they always make you feel amazing. And then for lunch, I am a bread addict, as I said before, and I loved that toastie that I made so much yesterday, so I decided to make another one with my pesto, the feta. I added in some chickpeas, and then I chucked in my tomatoes, some salt, and a big handful of kale. And this time I didn't feel the need to smother it in butter on either side because, like, let's be serious, let's be real, it's not actually that necessary. So I chucked it in the toaster, and sorry if this gives you anxiety, but I had to get this chickpea out of the way because it was going to ruin the shot. So I stuck my fingers in and got that chickpea out. Of course, I need to have a little snack as I wait for my snack to cook. Then I chopped up my toasted sanger, and it was amazing. Look at how amazing the feta looks in there. Oh, it's just like so aesthetically pleasing. That's what my chickpeas look like when they've been cooked, in case you were wondering what cooked chickpeas look like. And then for dinner, I made a butter chicken dish. Well, it's like butter tofu, I guess you call it, because I don't use chicken, obviously, I just use tofu. So I cooked some basmati rice, chopped up some brown onion and some tofu. I fried them off in a hot saucepan, and once the tofu started to like kind of crisp up a little bit, I then added in some tomato paste. Yes, some organic tomato paste that I got from Terra Madre. A couple of tablespoons of this butter chicken paste thing. And then I chucked in water. Sorry, I'm just commentating as I go. I chucked in half a can of coconut milk. No, that was coconut cream. It just looks so good. Oh my god, it was such an amazing meal. I chucked in some of my cooked chickpeas just to give it a little more substance, and then I mixed up my basmati rice. I think the key to perfecting a fluffy basmati rice is like when it's nearly fully cooked, just take it off the heat and put a lid on, and it kind of like steams itself into this fluffy rice kind of thing. Anyway, I served that up. Would have been awesome if I had some coriander or something, but I didn't. But this is probably one of my favorite things I made this week. So hearty, so delicious, and tastes exactly like butter chicken. I know I store everything in glasses in the fridge because it's a lot better than keeping it stored in cans. It's not very good for you to keep things stored in cans. Anyway, then I had a bit of passion fruit for dinner as a dessert, and then this is the next day. So happy Tuesday. That's my dog Dennis again. I had my other celery juice for breakfast. Oh, just not for breakfast, but I had celery juice that morning. And then I made myself an oat milk latte in one of my favorite op shop mugs. And I made a very fruity breakfast again this morning. I chopped up half of my papaya and filled it with some diced apples, a bunch of peanut butter, some hemp seeds, and some pepitas. I swear my tummy just like sings to the gods and praises me for having fruit for breakfast. I think it's just a must because you don't really feel like fruit in the afternoon or after you've had a heavy cooked meal. So I always just recommend having fruit for breakfast. And then because these passion fruits are so fucking good, I decided to have a passion fruit after that too, just to really get the tutti fruity vibe going. For lunch that day, I just had what was left over from the butter chicken curry thing. We ate most of it last night, Jacob and I, so there was only a tiny bit left. And then, because I was still a little bit hungry after that, I made one slice of toast with some of that pesto, some avocado, and some of the feta. Yeah, obviously I love toast and bread, so I had to have more of it today. I sprinkled it with some sea salt, and that was amazing. And then as another little like 5 o'clock snack or 4 o'clock snack, I made a tiny bowl of leftover rice, chickpeas, avocado, and tamari because I was just really hungry this day. And then for dinner, I made a pesto pasta. I was just eating so much pesto this week and so much feta. I think it's because I hadn't had a jar of, I actually don't think I've ever had my own jar of pesto before. And I always really enjoy pesto when I'm out at like restaurants and stuff. So I think I was just like really excited to have pesto in my pantry. So I had to have pesto with everything. And of course the feta too, because that's just amazing. So I chopped up some onion and fried that off with some salt. I also chucked in the rest of my organic cherry tomatoes. Chucked in 2 tablespoons of the pesto, which just, I feel like whenever I add pesto to pasta, it is never enough. Like, okay, maybe I actually remember I have had pesto once in my life. I had a jar of it, and I felt like no matter how much I added to my pasta, I could never taste it properly. I don't know what's with that. But anyway, I had all of that with some spaghetti. I drizzled the last tiny little drops of garlic infused olive oil on top of that, just for a little bit of extra oily flavor. I don't know. And then I chucked on top some of that feta, of course, and this was bloody sensational, even though I felt like I couldn't really taste the pesto. Anyway, welcome to, is this Wednesday? It must be Wednesday. I had a percolator coffee again today. I actually spilt it on the bench, which is fine. That happens sometimes when I'm pouring my percolator coffee. And this time I decided to have it with a dash of some Oatly oat milk. And then, oh my god, for breakfast, I made the most amazing stewed rhubarb. I got this rhubarb on special in the organic section at the organic store the other day, on Sunday. So I chopped up some apples, chopped up my rhubarb, and I just de-seeded 2 medjool dates. And it was so easy to stew the rhubarb and all the ingredients, because all you have to really do is chuck it in a pot with like half a cup of water, and just let it do its thing and sizzle away for like 10-15 minutes. That's it, probably like the 5-8 minute mark there. And then it's done. And then to accompany my rhubarb stew, I cooked some oats. I didn't cook them with like any sweetener or anything because I just wanted them to be plain, because I was going to have like some yummy sweet toppings. So I just cooked the oats in water. I chucked that in my little pot. Oh, the reason I say pot is because that bowl is actually a little pot thing that I got from a flower shop, but I thought it looked really cute. I got like 5 different colours. It's actually a little plant pot thingamabob. I don't know what you call it, instead of a bowl, but it looks really cute. Anyway, I added some maple syrup on top of that, and oh my god, it was so good. I also added on top some hemp seeds as well, just because they always look so pretty and make it look really aesthetic. And that was so yum. Oh my god, I love oats so much. You can always rely on oats to be like a really nice, satiating, heart-warming, soul-hugging breakfast. And then, so this was like a little like pre-lunch snack, which ended up being like pretty big, but I was going to Chadstone for a couple of hours, so I needed some fuel. I chopped up some garlic, some zucchini, some eggplant, and a bunch of tofu, and I just fried that in a tiny bit of sesame oil with a bit of salt. I cooked the eggplant first because if there's one thing I can't stand, it's undercooked eggplant. Like, it makes me feel weird even thinking about it. So I made sure the eggplant was cooked thoroughly before I added anything else in. And the reason I was excited to make this because I wanted to see what it would be like just to cook veggies in garlic, in freaking, what's it called? Chili oil, because I love chili oil so much, and it's got like lots of garlic and onion in it, I think, anyway. So I wanted to see what it was like just to stir fry all my veggies in garlic oil. And let me tell you, it was really, 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 really good. It was a little bit too oily though, which is like kind of a no-brainer because I cooked it in like pure oil, but it was so yum. And I just served that with some of my leftover basmati rice that I made on Monday with my butter chicken. And then I seasoned it with some sesame seeds because I love sesame seeds. Oh, and I also had some fried shallots and I seasoned it with that too. And then after I got back from Chadstone, I bought a brand new non-stick pan from Target that I was really excited to use. So I made a chickpea omelette. I just mixed together some spices with chickpea flour and tapioca flour and water, and that makes my like scrambled egg, whisked egg kind of mix thing. I chopped up some kale and chopped up some tomatoes and mushrooms, and then I just fry the chickpea batter thing on the pan like you would a pancake. And I didn't really need to add oil to this, but I think I have like PTSD from things sticking to the pan, so I added oil anyway, realizing that I really didn't need to do it. You know how traumatic it can be though when your fucking pancake or something sticks to the pan like a fucking 10-stage clinger. So I used oil. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I fried my fucking omelette, and then I had that with some with some avocado toast, and yeah, this was honestly too much food. I wasn't actually really that hungry. I just got too excited about the new pan. But of course I ate it all anyway because like, what am I going to do? For dinner that night, I chopped up a heap of veg and made a curry out of that with some tomato paste, tandoori paste, coconut cream and water on split red lentils too. I chucked that all in a pot and then asked Jacob to watch it and let it simmer while I went to my dance class. When I came back, I had that with some leftover basmati rice, and it was really yum. And then we must be on Thursday morning now, so welcome to Thursday. I had a oat latte on the go. I was heading off this morning to do a bit of work for Jacob. He's an electrician, and I was going to drop off the material to one of the boys. When I came back, I went past Coles and I found some vegan chocolate chips and decided to treat myself to some chocky chip pancakes using buckwheat flour, so they were gluten-free, and they were actually fucking unreal. I am not a massive pancake person, but for some reason I was just craving them this morning. Oh, and I also wanted to use up my stewed rhubarb on something, and I didn't really feel like porridge again, so I had them on the pancakes. Oh my god, they were so yum. And then The dal that Jacob had helped me cook yesterday, it wasn't really like cooked to the thickness that I wanted, and I kind of wasn't actually really feeling like that much curry because I had that butter chicken on the Monday, and I feel like once you hit the threshold for curry for the week, you just don't feel like it anymore. So I got creative and I thickened up the dal, and then I made it into sausage rolls. Oh, I feel like this is revolutionary. I mean, like, I know there's like samosas and like curry puffs and things, so I guess this is kind of like what that is. But I just saw this puffed pastry at Coles in the morning and decided to repurpose my dal into sausage rolls with black sesame seeds, and oh my god, that was so good. And now I think I'm gonna be like sausage roll obsessed. So for lunch that day, I just had like this fucking giant sausage roll covered in tomato sauce. Obviously it didn't like cook properly because it like opened up, but that doesn't mean it didn't taste amazing. It tasted so good. Now I know for next time to like make it stick down better, the batter, if you know what I mean, so it doesn't split open. Anyway, as an afternoon snack, as an afternoon drink, I made myself an iced coffee, which is very rare because I usually only have one coffee a day. And for dinner that night, I couldn't really be asked cooking, so I just had another tiny bit of sausage roll for dinner. And then because I had that at like fucking 5:30, when it came to like 7:30, I was still hungry. So of course I made myself some toast, because toast is fucking the best thing in the world. And then Jacob pulled out some watermelon like just before bed, and we decided to have a little bit of a fruit feast just before bed because fruit is amazing. And yeah, then welcome to Friday. Oh my god, this is going so fast. On Friday I made some more celery juice. Again, I made 500 mils for one morning, 500 mils for the next. I made a coffee on the go this morning because I went and did some work in the library that morning, and when I got back I made myself granola because when I was at the library I went to the op shop next door and found this really cool jar that I've always wanted to find to make smoothie bowls in. So I made some granola to go with my smoothie bowl. I just pulsed some oats, pepitas, what else did I pulse? Dates, coconut, and oats. Did I say that? I just gave that a pulse for like a couple of minutes. Oh, not really. I pulsed it like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. Gave it out, pulled it out, gave it a shake, and then chucked it back on and pulsed it again twice. And then I put that in a bowl with some buckwheat, and I put in a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, which was a big mistake because it made it too moist. If you're going to make your own granola, make sure you don't get it too wet. I think because of the oats, it kind of ended up being a bit too mushy, and it just took a lot longer than it should have to toast in the oven. It probably also didn't help that I didn't spread it out on a big tray. But anyway, it was still fine. It just took like an extra 20 minutes to bake it. I sprinkled on top some sea salt as well before I baked it, which in my opinion brings it to life. It just like makes it taste so much better with a little sprinkle of sea salt. It doesn't make it taste like savory or anything. It just makes it taste like a salted caramel kind of taste. And that was a smoothie bowl that I made with it. That was just blended bananas, blueberries, and I topped it with peanut butter too. And then for dinner this night, I just cooked some quinoa on a pot in some water with a cube of vegetable bouillon. How do you say it? Like a stock cube basically, but it's not stock, it's bouillon. I'm not really sure what the difference is there. But anyway, I cook my quinoa in like stock usually because it makes it taste a lot nicer, not as bland. And then I had been to the market that morning on my way to the library, and I bought these amazing big organic tomatoes that were on special, and I toasted them under the grill with some thyme, oregano and salt and pepper, and oh my god, they are so good grilled. They just like really caramelize and become so sweet. I actually got this idea for YouTuber. I can't remember what her name is, but I'll try and find a name and link it below so you can go watch where I got the inspo from. But oh my god, it's such a good idea. And then I chopped up a brown onion and some garlic and some kale because I was making it like a warm kale salad topped with the grilled tomatoes. So I prepared all of that, and then I started frying them off in a pan with some tomato paste, some more herbs, and then I folded in the cooked quinoa. And I don't even know where I got the inspiration from for this quinoa salad, but it just was so nice and so hearty, and it was so healthy too. Like, I just felt so good after I ate it. When I folded it all together, I chucked on top some avocado and the tomatoes, and I didn't even need a dressing because the sweetness from the tomatoes was so good. And yeah, it was just so yum. Such a good week of eating. I didn't include Saturday in because I went out and I didn't really film anything. It was nothing too special, but yeah, that brings me to the end of my video. I really hope you like it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram for more recipes too, because there's lots of stuff there. Anyway, thank you. I'll see you next time.